different learning environment and different teaching, the case of visual arts teachers. The central aim of this research is to examine the way teachers teach in different learning environments during the same lesson and the way they think learning takes place in the student's mind. The research is based on studies from the field of teaching thinking, mental models, and theory in action. To better understand the research, let's first understand what is in-action mental model. The in-action mental model refers to the hidden representations directing one's actions. A previous research has shown that teachers have a common mental model about learning, which is based on the following structure in class: teacher, student, teacher. The teacher asks questions to which the student answers, and then the teacher gives the student feedback. This research examined whether the presented structure actually represents different learning environments in class. The research sample include 5 artists teaching visual arts to higher education students. The artist group included females and men from the age of 29 to 65. Some of the artists are high school graduates, some are doctors and professors. Since the research developed a new tool, the data collection process is carried out in 3 different ways. The first, observation. I use video camera to videotape art lessons in the classrooms in order to achieve uninvolved observation. The second, reports collected by the researcher. I wrote notes during the lessons and used them while analyzing the data. The third, stimulated recall. This tool emphasizes the components that the teacher deems relevant in the lesson process. Each teacher participating in the research reviewed the video of his lesson together with the researcher a short time after the lesson took place. Here we can see the observer program that I used to analyze the database. The units are in the right side of the screen. The video on the top left of the screen. After coding the data, we can make some tests of frequency and mean. The research findings show that teachers who teach visual arts indeed use a different learning environment in the same lesson in order to create different learning in the student's mind. The research findings show that even though some artists which participated in the research used the mental model teacher-student-teacher, a different mental model about learning and about the understanding of artist-teacher visual arts of the learner's mind was found. In MANOVA test, I found that in arts lesson there are 3 different learning environments. The improved new mental model is composed of 3 explicit units, the teaching units, and 3 implicit units, the learning units. The explicit teaching units include, in the first level, workshop, critique, and general discussion. I have some examples for the 3 parts of the lesson from the simulated recall. For workshop, for example, the teacher said, "The ideal teacher is the non-existent one," or "I give each student opportunity to develop his own direction," or "I believe that the student has to work in the lesson and that working is the real learning." For critique, the teacher said, "During the critique and the discussion about work, we create a unique language, slang, local language, and this language escorts the observation and the critique of the artwork. In other words, the teacher, in the creation's music, where there is no right or wrong, just the creation of a language through which we discuss the artwork. And for the general discussion about art, the teacher said, I teach the student art, and on the other side, I teach them how to be an audience for the artwork. Or, for me, the art is a way, a tool to learn about the world. The second level are the events. I found 5 events: experience, observation, discussion, dialogue, and monologue. These are events within the different part of the lesson or different learning environments. In every part, a different event is dominant. The third level include the acts. Acts are small units within the event unit. The acts include content and frame. Content. There are cognitive, metacognitive, affective, and technique content. Frame. There are questions providing information, instruction, feedback, demonstration, and informal discussion. Until now, we saw the teaching units. Now we will interpret the teaching into actual learning, goals, processes, and meta-assumptions. First level are goals that our teaching is aiming to achieve: aesthetic, effective, technical, observational, and metacognitive goals. The second level are the processes. Interactions between the teacher and the students intended to create learning processes such as listening, reviewing, knowledge, and controlling emotions. The third level are meta-assumptions of the teacher. The teacher assumes with respect to 2 issues: knowledge types and knowledge accusation. In MANOVA test, I found that in art lesson there are 3 different learning environments: workshop, critique of students' work, and general discussion about art. The teacher used different ways of teaching, events, and actions that influence his understanding of the learner's mind. During the workshop, the teacher tries to develop technique knowledge. During the critique of students' work, the teacher tried to develop art knowledge in visual representations and metacognitive knowledge. And in general discussion about art, the teacher tries to widen the knowledge about history of art, artists, culture, and etc. The first one, the time the teacher dedicates to workshop and using material, thinking with material. The time the teacher dedicates to watch the artwork and stay quiet, thinking with the eyes. The time of discussion, interaction between the student, the teacher, and the work of art.